Welcome back to the SuperCoach AFL channel. In this video, we're going to look at the AFL SuperCoach round review of round 8. And as you can see, a pretty good week for myself, 2480, which was about 24,000 for the round, so in the top 1% for the round. Um, Actually got top 1% in the NRL as well, so super great week for SuperCoach for yours truly. But as you can see, big jump in the ranks, so inside the top 10K. So, pretty sort of happy with that result. Now I guess the next level up from there is top 5,000, but we'll see how we go. If I finish in the top 10,000 for someone who doesn't follow the AFL that closely, I will absolutely take that. But into how the team's going this week, so another win. Thanks, Colonel. Um, Jordan Dawson, so 122. That's on average, which sounds ridiculous when you say 122 is the average for a defender, but pretty stoked we got him in. So you can see I've went Dacos captain again. So I think there was a little stuff up when I was sort of doing my round preview. I did want Bontempelli all along as captain, and I completely stuffed it up and forgot to change it back from what I had last week, and it was all too late by the time I worked it out. So I thought I'll roll the dice on Dacos. I could have actually just gone to see on Bontempelli and kept VC on English, not worried about the loophole, but silly choice. Cost me 80 points, but I still did pretty well, so I won't complain about that. Jack Z will say, I saw he had 30 something kicks, which is pretty crazy. And that's how you get 179 points as a defender. So well done, Jack. Thanks for getting that. I know. I think a few people got off him because he was looking a bit shaky with a bit of an injury. So if you got off, you'd be kicking yourself. But yeah, I'm cheering. So Will Day, 84. It's probably not quite what he's been producing, but um, yeah, it might have just not been his day. To use a pun there. I'm feeling very good with these 1%. I'm throwing out all the jokes. Buckley with the 99. So, he's continuing to tick along nicely. Chase Jones, 65. So, it's a bit flat and, probably not too far away from the chopping block now, but probably got one or two other players that we want to move on before we worry about him. Chincotta, so 70, which gave him a boost of about 75k in cash. And really handy if you do need to use him on field. So at the moment, I've got him as that sort of reserve option, but yeah, could definitely see a scenario where if you have to play him on field, you could, and that'd be more than okay at this point. Centre of the midfield, so Bontempelli. So again, like I said, did want to captain him. You can go back and look at my initial review of the previous round if you don't believe me. Um, but yeah, 164. That's why we wanted him as captain. But the fact we've got that 164 is more than enough. Sarong turning up 105, so he's dipped a little bit in cash. We might have bought him at his peak, which is a bit of a concern. What's his break even? Yeah, 133. But that's fine. If we're going to keep him, we're not stressed about that. Josh Kelly 129 and Tom Green 135. So the GWS boys getting it done. We appreciate that. Jack Steele with a 95, so probably not quite what we were hoping for from him, but it's definitely not the worst score. So yeah, keep the faith in Steele for the time being. Hopper 111, so yeah, really nice to get a ton from Hopper. Warple 68. So now that Will Day's back in, it looks like his sort of days are numbered. Um, so he's the one that we're probably going to look at getting out of this week. Will Ashcroft 37 was a bit disappointing, and I can see why people would want to get out of him. A couple of weeks ago, people got off him after a low score, and he turned up the next week. So I guess there's always a bit of inconsistency when you're learning how to play at the level. So yeah, again, he's in the sort of the Jones category where if you want to upgrade him, you could. But I've got sort of a slightly different target in mind. Jimby 61, so he's pumping out scores. I guess if you needed to, again, play him on field, um, it's not the worst option. But when you look at my sort of targets and who I can trade out, he's obviously got a lot of cash on him that we can use. So um, yeah, it's probably time to let him go. Johnson is suspended for another week, so we don't need to worry about him. Roberts is still injured for a few months, so whether we sideways him out potentially, but we don't have any boost, so I don't think there's much point to it anyway. Into the rucks, so Timmy English 124. It's below average, but still an awesome score. Ryan Marshall 107, so on point, and Samson Ryan 104. So I saw that and was cheering. It would have been still handy to have Radaglia in the ruck forward sort of swing, um, and he actually scored quite well. But we did cash him out last week. Um, so we're sort of stuck with him there on the bench, but making good money, so we can't complain about that. Tim Taranto, 118, so continuing to do the business in the forward line. Dunkley, 149, so that's sort of the scores we're used to from Dunkley. So happy he's back up in the 110 plus sort of category. Connor Rosie, 104. So anytime forward gets 100, you're happy with that. Goulden, so had that sort of spike game that we know he could. 156. Again, him and Zeeble carrying the team to glory. Sheasel, 110. Just keeps doing it for a rookie. Unbelievable. Chandler, 57. Probably, not what he has been at the last few weeks, but, the service he has given us has well been worth it. Um, and even though we didn't get on him at bottom dollar price, he's made us 150 plus easily. Seamus Mitchell, 54. So, it's yeah, for a forward replacement, you cop that sort of score. And Angwin, obviously, we only went Angwin because of the lower price point, but did manage to find an injury apparently and only 33. So, yeah, unfortunately, another dead rookie on the bench. But I guess looking at my squad, I'm definitely doing better than some of the others that I've seen. So I guess we'll sort of take that as a silver lining. Um, so yeah, so in terms of the trades this week, I've sort of already alluded to what I want to do. So Warpool and Jinby to go one up, one down. So I think the down option that makes the most sense this week is Josh Weddle. So not a superstar scorer, but much cheaper than Rory Atkins. Would like to get Atkins in if the money could swing. And we might actually, I'll talk about an alternative in a minute that does involve him. But I guess at the moment, my initial thought is Jinby down to Weddle. Obviously, have to swing Chin Cotter into the midfield. Uh, and then with the money we've got, we can just manage to afford Noah Anderson. So he's looked amazing since Tuke Miller's injury. Um, I'm assuming he's just sort of taken the lead in the midfield of the Suns and said, "This is mine." So with Miller still out for quite a while, and the Suns having that really handy bye where it's just them and I think Geelong. He's going to play those big buy rounds when we could really use extra numbers on the field. So if we complete those trades, just to have a look at the team and how it shapes up. So now you can sort of see the defence is still what it is. Jones as a D6 isn't the craziest at the moment. and definitely on the upgrade sort of target. Same sort of thing in the midfields. We're pretty happy with the seven. Ashcroft, his time is almost up. And same thing with the forward line. So five guns and Chandler. And we've still got a bit of money there off Samson Ryan too. So um, I'm probably thinking the next couple of weeks is going to be maybe like a Jones and Ashcroft to um, Tommy Stewart, and then I might have to just place Jim Cotter here for a minute, and then Chandler and Ryan. To by that time, it could be possible that the Max Gorn dual position swing is on. Ideally, would like to have a ruck forward sort of thing. So it might even be next week, Jones and Chandler to like a Madden in the ruck three, and sort of go the first real nuff option, um, and then upgrade Jones, and then Ashcroft and Ryan's money could become Max Gorn, or we might have to wait for Darcy Cameron, just so we have that third ruck option in the team. Um, and then, after that, we'll just start scraping the pennies to upgrade M8, which will be Chin Cotter at that time. But, if we can get a bit of money out of Weddle, Seamus Mitchell might help us a bit. Um, yeah, we'll just sort of play that by ear. And, then if we can as well, after that, upgrading Buckley and so on. But, Johnson might be back in next week and generate some cash to do that. It's not worth worrying about too much in the future. But yeah, that's sort of, I guess, the plan um, at the moment. As I said, I did want to maybe discuss one alternative. So, same trades out, that's not changing. But the difference here would be if we were to go Rory Atkins. So, scoring a bit more and has a bit more money on his head. But then what that would mean is that for the midfield upgrade, by this week's points, we'd be bringing in Andy Brayshaw. Um, so 149. A lot of people saying it looks like he's shaken off any injury that he had in the preseason and the start of the year. Um, I guess the only reason I don't like this one is just due to the fact that it was against the Hawks. So I think the Hawks can make anyone look good for Supercoach purposes. Um, but yeah, you still get that extra coverage with Atkins playing through those bye periods. So still got the Gold Coast coverage. So that's what makes this trade potentially appealing. Is that um, yeah, we've sort of got a bit more coverage on the bench, but obviously lacking a bit in the on-field upgrade, I suppose. I think Anderson will outscore Brayshaw in the medium term. Then I guess the real crazy option, and I did toss this up, but I don't know if I'd have the balls to pull it off, is do a couple of cheeky DPP swings, play Ryan on the field, and get Max Gorn in at his bottom dollar price. So this is really relying on the fact that Gorn would be ruck forward. And yeah, I had a bit of a look this morning. There was no sort of update on that data from on Code Sports is where I've been getting it from. There's probably more relevant data out there somewhere, but I haven't got time for all that. But just carrying 500k on the bench for what would be, what are we now, around 9, so at least 3 weeks. I think, yeah, it's after round 11, I think, before round 12. Uh, that's, yeah, a bit crazy, I think. So, yeah, it could be a bold move, but I think, yeah, give it a few weeks and we can make enough money if we, it's absolutely corn we have to get in. But yeah, so I just wanted to show that because that's something I did look at today and considered, but yeah, don't have the stones for that sort of move. So yeah, so just to go again, as it stands, it's Weddle and Warple, sorry, Jimby out, Weddle. Oh, hang on, I've got to swing. Weddle and then Noah Anderson in. So Chincotta is on the bench. And then captain, vice captain initially. I think just the captaincy on Bontempelli until further notice. I won't make that mistake again. Famous last words. And given that they're playing West Coast, yeah, I'd be pretty game to give Anderson a crack at the V this week. Bring him in and straight to the vice captaincy. Um, Yeah, so you could go Goulden against Fremantle. Fremantle haven't been setting the world on fire. Uh, Port and North, there might be something in there like a Rosie perhaps, or something like a Jack Zeeble. Just looking at how he went on the weekend. Yeah, if you got Oliver Petrarca against the Hawks, that'd be yes please. Um, but yeah, I don't. So Bontempelli it is. Dawson and Dacos probably play too late in the round. If you wanted to captain Dawson, yes, maybe steer clear of Dacos for a bit. Although now that I'm not captaining him, he'll probably do the business. So there's that. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. If you got any other thoughts, if you're crazy enough to do the Max Gorn trade to R3, let me know in the comments below. Uh, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying the content. And other than that, I'll catch you in the next one.